Hey everyone, and welcome to World Conservation Summits. My name is Tanya Anderson, and I am your host on this summit. Today we have a dear friend to my heart. She has been on before, and she's coming on here again, and her name is Alejandra Monge. I really hope I say just your name correctly, my friend.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alejandra Monge. I'm the executive director of the Corcovado Foundation. I've been working with the foundation for over 22 years, and I'm super excited to be here. Tanya, thank you for inviting me.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. So why this organization? Yes, you will get information about where you can get connected with them, and also amazing other information we will talk about and share with you guys. So why I pick Alejandra, I hope I say your name correctly. So was because she's a friend to my heart, and she's also a mentor for me to really also showing like where is the next level in for me with conservation? What is the next level for me to focus on product, what I'm buying? Because last time we have a talk around like the pineapple, and I have no clue what the pineapple did to the environment. And after she shared that, it was like, no, thank you to pineapple. I have not found someone that was ecological. It's like, I'm not eating pineapple more here. So she's really sharing information that is so simple and really showing what is happening out there, because me from Denmark, like I need information like what is happening on the other side of the globe by my life story, my life choices in life. So she's really inspired us to really like think about like where can we do the small actions in life, and really down to earth around sharing her work around planting mango trees and also with the turtles. So the topic today will not be around that. This is just why I pick her, because she's a big motivator for me, why I choose to do it anyway and really fight for conservation. So the topic we get to talk about today is, okay, hold on guys, I'm going for the topic. This is livestock, and my friend, you get to support me there.
Regenerative agriculture.
And other creativity solutions. So before you're sharing about why this topic is so important for you and your work, share a little bit about like, who are you? Where did you find this amazing passion for Costa Rica and for the turtle and for the mango trees, and what you are working with in the work you're doing?
Thank you. Yes, so it's very interesting, because when you start doing a little bit of research about climate change and about the things that are affecting us now, you realize that 20% of production for food comes production of food generates 20% of the greenhouse gases. From livestock to traditional agriculture, unfortunately, we have been so detached from like nature that we produce food in a way that is harmful for the environment, for the soil, and that actually forces governments to provide a lot of subsidies to farmers so that they can survive, because their cycle of producing is so harmful for the environment that they can, at some point, they cannot produce as much, because it is just deteriorating the soil. They need all this agrochemicals, they need all those things to come out, and that is expensive, and that makes it really hard for them to produce. When the COVID pandemic hit, we decided to learn more about regenerative agriculture, because regenerative agriculture was a way to produce food with the inputs from the community, from the same farm. Basically, the leaves that fall from the tree, the weed you put out of the side, all those things are part of creating fertilizers and enriching the soil and that kind of stuff. And when you remove like the agrochemicals, then you let soil thrive. Like the soil will start, like there will be bugs and all these microbes and bacteria and stuff like that, that they will start coming out to eat all this stuff you're living on the soil and enriching the soil, so farmers don't need stuff from outside. So regenerative agriculture is basically mimicking what nature does to be able to produce better food, food without agrochemicals, food without food that is not so expensive, and food that is richer, right? Is better, is better for the families, is not polluting their waters. So that kind of stuff. So we saw amazing results with this. And the other thing that makes it really great is that not only it produces better crops, but it also is better at holding water on the soil. So that means less floods, less droughts, and so it is a great opportunity for farmers. So we started like looking at that, and people start saying, oh my God, I mean, we are producing amazing crops, we are producing amazing food, and this tree that never produced anything in 20 years is now all of a sudden producing food because we're fertilizing them with like natural things, and instead of using all these agrochemicals, we're using the things from our farm, and it makes it a lot cheaper for them to produce, and it makes them also more adaptable to climate change, but also they generate less greenhouse gases. So it's a great opportunity to go from producing 20% of the greenhouse gases to actually absorbing carbon in the soil. So it's an amazing solution for climate change. It's an amazing solution to provide food, good food for communities, and to improve water sources. Then we started learning about livestock. And the thing with livestock, we all know, I mean, there's all this conservationists were always like, eat less meat, this kind of stuff. And that is true. I mean, definitely eating meat uses a lot of land. People cut down forests to put like livestock. But we found out that like we're, of course, turning forest into a field to be able to have livestock is terrible. For those that already have livestock, if they do it right, they could have a very positive impact on the environment. And so holistic management of livestock is also, again, mimicking nature and using nature tools to enrich the soils and to absorb carbon and that kind of stuff. And I can tell you more what like livestock is about if you want.
Please share. If that is important for the topic, please share.
So basically, what holistic cattle farmers are doing is they are mimicking what used to happen in like African savannas, where there were predators, and there's all the all the ruminants, all the different animal, different vegetarians that were over there, and basically because they were afraid of the predators, they would stay always together because there's always strength in numbers, right? So they would stay together and they would like eat on an area, and they would like poop on an area, and they would like pee on that area. And then once the food is gone from there, they would move to the next place. And predators were the ones that were keeping this happening, right? Because they didn't want to spread away. They wanted to like work together so that like they wouldn't be eaten. So then the area that they left behind had all this fertilizers and liquids and bacteria and stuff like that, and that made the grass and nature be able to like recuperate faster, and they left all these rich nutrients on the soil that would let pastures come back sooner. And then they kept doing that, right? They kept moving to a new place so that they could find clean areas to eat, because you don't want to eat where you poop, right? They don't want to do that. So and they didn't want to separate, because so there was not one of them eating by themselves, because he knew that would be the one that was going to be eaten by the lion. So we've been studying from the Savory Institute. Is based on the observations of Alan Savory, who was born and raised in Africa, and who studied all this like mob cattle process, where they just move as mobs. And it was very interesting, because then we realized that by doing that, we have cattle farmers that can plan on their land. They can separate it, because we don't have the predators. So now we just separate it on pastures by using, wires or whatever to keep them from moving from one side to the other. You keep the cattle in the same place, and then you move it to the next place, and you move it to the next place. So the first area that was used by the cattle gets to recover, absorb carbon, absorb all those nutrients, and because there's a better, more efficient way to do this, cattle farmers can plant more trees. They can do live fences. They can restore their riverbeds. They can actually leave areas untouched, because now they're more efficient. They don't need as much room to keep their cattle happy. So that is very important for us, because of course we have this communities that live off the cattle, have been doing it for 100 years and don't know any other way to do it. So basically what we're helping them is to do it better, to improve their impact. And also part of the training has been providing them with natural fertilizers and repellents and cures for their animals and that kind of stuff. So happier farmers, happier animals, and also better for the ecosystem. So that has been another thing that we found that has been amazing. Another solution that we've been also working on, and it goes hand in hand with a better production, is restoring ecosystems. Because when you start planting trees, we know that planting trees and planting mangrove ecosystems provide all these natural solutions that nothing else can produce, right? And you have all these areas that have been, unoccupied, that could be recovering watersheds, that would be protecting from big rains and that kind of stuff, and that right now are unplanted. So for example, there's a community in Costa Rica, in the coastal side of Costa Rica, that never before had been flooded, and now is flooded all the time.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why it is flooded all the time is because developers decided that they would have a great view if they cut the trees. And so now they are, so now every time it rains, all the water just comes down to the town, and the town gets flooded every single time. So trees and mangroves provide so many different services that are so important and key for reducing our vulnerability to climate change on one hand, and then on the other hand, absorbing carbon from the atmosphere.
Amazing, amazing. So how can we invite people to really practice in nature's solution on the two things you really like provide of solution or provide hope? Like, how can you invite people to be a part of that nature solutions all over the globe? Also for me, like in Denmark.
Well, it's funny because our timing for this meeting that we're having, you and me, it's great because right now, this week, we're starting, we have a fundraiser with Global Giving for the Little by Little campaign. And basically the idea is like promoting the power of the people. And so the Little by Little is like, you donate $50 or less, and they match 25%. And all the money that we raise for that is going to go directly to our restoration projects. So basically, they will go directly to replanting, rewilding areas that have been cut down and that need to be protected and restored. So that is one thing. So if somebody wants to help restore ecosystems in the rainforest in Costa Rica, they could go to our website and they can donate to the Global Giving campaign. That would be amazing. The other thing you can do is definitely try to think about producing your own food. I know that like in Denmark might not be as easy to like have your own garden, but I know that there's ways to like at least produce during the certain times of the year. And producing your own food with like soil that you have been enriching, and definitely composting is a great way to like give back to the planet.
It can also be like a good tool. A tip is also like eat everything you have in your fridge before you're buying something else, so that you eat like everything in your fridge, so that you don't throwing something out. There's like a tip, amazing tip, and also be around about like, where do your food come from? What do you want to support? Like for me, I'm only focused on buying definitely first in Denmark, like really supporting Denmark of what I'm eating, of vegetable and fruits. And if not, it is only to Europe. I'm not choosing to buy out from Europe. So there's always like ways of like, how can you support what you get in, instead of like you get to have a garden so that of you out there. There's many ways how you really can think about like, what do you buy? First of all, what do you choose to consume? And also make like a food plan on what do you get to buy on the whole week. And when you sit down like in weekends and plan out your week, you can also be curious about like, where do your food come from? What do you want to support? And sit on Google. Google is your friend to figure out like, where does it come from?
True. That is great. That is a very good advice, because definitely wasting food is one of the biggest problems for climate change. And then knowing where your food is from definitely helps you. I think that the governments should have a change in how they approach agriculture in general. And also cattle farming, because instead of providing incentives to farmers that are producing like in massive ways and that are so invasive for the environment, they could be promoting regenerative agricultures and cattle, holistic cattle farming as a way to produce your food. I mean, we all eat food. We all need it, right? I mean, thinking about rewilding everything in the world is not going to work. We have, 8 billion people that we need to feed. But definitely finding ways to produce your food in a way that is more holistic and is closer to nature and is closer to like what we were intended to do is better than,
Yeah, there's so many solutions, and like as I will stand for like one challenge, there's 50 solutions all about you. The others, like, have you learned to brainstorm? Have you learned to look out of the box to really change your lifestyle so your lifestyle is serving Mother Earth instead of you choose to be a taker, just take what you choose. So another one can also be like here in Denmark, it is apple seasons. So for me, instead of going in grocery, buying fruits, I'm eating apples for like definitely 2 months, because I'm going into the forest and picking the apples, and the apples from the trees in the forest, or where I come from, like from the field, because there's apple tree like long way the field. It can long time in the fridge compared to apples from the grocery. So apples directly from nature, from the tree, can stay longer fresh in the fridge compared to what you buy. So that is very interesting. Something I get new information about last year. I was like, that is very interesting.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's one thing that we're also doing. We're also working with the communities to find those native plants that used to thrive in the area, and people stop eating them. So there's fruits and plants that are full of like iron and all kinds of like very nutritious things, and they grow like weed in Costa Rica because they're like literally from there, right? And they have always been there, and people forgot that we used to eat that kind of stuff. My mom, when I tell them, it's like, oh, there's this family that is producing this, and there's this family. My mom is like, we used to eat that, and now you can't find them on the farmers, on the markets. And so trying to bring back those plants that thrive on our weather and that are going to be more resilient with climate change, during droughts and because in Costa Rica we get both, right? We get like droughts and we get floods, right? So it's like, welcome to climate change, the new.
Oh my God! Yeah, the new world.
The new world. So these plants are like so resilient because they're from there. They're like, so planting native plants that are like just like thrive on our weather is something that will produce good food, won't need any insecticides or any fertilizers, and will nourish your family. So that's what we need, right? I mean, we need to figure out ways to live better with the environment and have a better relationship with nature. We have been so disconnected with nature. We forgot that we need nature to survive,
True. And also, like, what I really see is just like, from my point of view, it's just like when we talk about human health, it's just like, and if a person is so disconnected to nature, it's just like it's very interesting. You say you're not working in nature, you disconnect to nature. How can you say you have a strong health when you are disconnected to nature? Because you need nature to have a strong health. So that's going hand to hand. So how, to you, the audience, how can you say you have a strong health if you're not really create awareness about nature? Where do you receive your food from? Where does it come from? What is this first step in the process? Because what you buy, you support on the first process, and you're saying that is okay, and you accept that, and you're showing that to the government. It is okay to have that process on a big company. So you have the responsibility of the audience to really get into the details, and you can reach out to Ella to really ask her where does it come from, because you have a big knowledge about a lot of the tropical food, fruits, where it come from, or other things, because it's so important you create awareness about that, where does it come from, and create awareness by like step by step. And definitely also to your audience, going out to be volunteers is the key for you to really get connected with nature, and the key to really get connected with your lifestyle, what your lifestyle is doing to the other side of the world by your lifestyle choices in the grocery.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the key. I mean, about surviving where we should call like the biggest crisis of our generation. You know, Barack Obama said something that for me was like so impactful. It's like we're like the first generation to feel the impact of climate change, and probably the last one to be able to do something about it. So definitely it's like, it's such a wake-up call about thinking, it's like, you know what, this is not right. And you know, I have 2 kids, and I don't want to leave this world for them. It's not fair, you know. They're gonna have to deal with all this different crises that we're seeing everywhere. I mean, we see every single day, we see a different crisis in a different country that is caused by climate change. So it is not a future thing. It's happening here, and it's happening now. And not everybody can be working in conservation, but everybody can have an impact on it, and everybody can make it change. So I think that this definitely something that we all have to be aware of, like every day, like every move, everything that we do, we have to be aware of. As much as like being present is so important, about like how you need to be present with your family, with your life, with the happiness, with, you know, being grateful and all those things, being aware of the fact that we are in a different time in our lives. It's, you know, that we're facing a different crisis, and this crisis is going to be bigger than the COVID crisis, right? And definitely we can all do something about it. And we've seen what people can do when they put their mind on it, but we just have to be aware that we all have the power to make an impact.
Exactly. And one person can create a huge impact when the person is really stepping forward and be committed, because the person out there, the audience, you will support, like you will inspire, motivate others, and pull people forward, so they are follow you by your action step. You get to take the actions, because your actions there is speaking louder compared to your words. You get to put some action on your words, the audience, and really make it happen, no matter if you feel like it, because the world cannot wait on you to be perfect and feel like it, to show up and do something about what you're seeing and talk about.
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So true.
Yeah. So what else is important for you to really touch point around really like creating solution, like out there audience, like if you find 2 solutions, or if you find 3 solutions to one challenge is you seeing, because if you see a challenge out there, you have the tools to make a difference in there, because there's something that's calling you to create a change, creating these solutions for serving that area. So if you find 3 solutions, you can find 10. It's all about, do you choose to be committed? And that is a choice. So Ella, what advice would you give to your 20 years old you, young you, like in the past?
Yeah. What advice would I give myself from 20 years?
Yeah, when you was 20 years old.
Regarding the environment, or as a personal?
I have a
position.
kind like connected to the topic.
Connected to the topic.
Yeah.
Tanya, it's a good question. So truth is, like, in 20 years, I learned a lot, and we learned a lot from like making mistakes, and right. So definitely last 20 years, I learned a lot. We at some point were more into protecting nature by keeping people out, and now we learned that we need to protect nature by being part of the ecosystems, like by humans being part of the ecosystems.
Yeah.
So definitely from like, based on this topic, I would say don't let people forget how we are all part of it, how we are so connected, and how we all depend so much on the ecosystems. And I think animals are so aware of this, where we are so unaware of this, of how these things are so connected. So definitely, I would have wanted to start working on regenerative agriculture in cattle farming 20 years ago, and being more aggressive on planting trees, because planting trees, it seems such a simple thing, but it's like, it's the key for everything. Planting trees and restoring ecosystems that have been lost and that are now void without any use or anything. It's fundamental to make a difference. We should have been more aggressive about the whole thing years ago. So that would be my on my job side. That would have been on my mission. I don't know if it's a job, it's more like a mission. On my mission for the environment, I would say that would have been I should have been more aware about how we could produce better food without causing so much damage. So,
amen.
Definitely.
So, to you, the audience, Alejandra, and me, we really thank you. Thanks, and are grateful for you to choose to be here, to choose to see this interview, and we will invite you to choose some exercise. Go to the homepage, sign up to the newsletter so you get up to date, and also subscribe to all the YouTube channels, and also to the donate where you're supporting the cause, as you can find on the homepage. So we thank you so much for being here. And the last word, like, where can people, like the dear audience, get connected with you guys?
Well, if they want to get connected with us, they can go to corcovadofoundation.org. Corcovado is CORCOVADO foundation.org. And we really would appreciate your support and your help.
Amazing.
And as I said, like this week, whatever donation we get on Global Giving will be used for planting trees. So we've been bringing volunteers also. That's another thing, that they can volunteer on the Corcovado Foundation, and they can come and help us plant trees. They can learn about regenerative agriculture. We are also we also have a sea turtle project that is very important. And since we last talked, Tanya, this project became actually a climate adaptation project, because sea turtles now is not that they are that it's not only that they're being poached or that predated by raccoons and other animals, but also because of the tides going higher, they don't have a place to put their eggs. So they don't have a place to lay their eggs. So our volunteers go to the beach, find the nest, move the nest, put them on a nursery, and we protect them for, as long as they need to be protected so that they can be born. Otherwise, they be gone. So
that's a good point.
Is now an adaptation project, because it's like literally we're trying to be able to have them survive, although there's not anymore the conditions for them to survive on these beaches.
It is.
Beaches and sandbanks, it's going to be the next step, but definitely it's definitely an issue. So if somebody wants to volunteer, they can go to our website, corcovadofoundation.org, and they can learn more about our programs and, choose the one that they feel that they can help more with and make a difference and learn a different culture.
Oh, the fastest way for you guys to really if you are there and you are you have a passion to make a difference, or you have a passion or vision to be work with conservation and do your part for conservation or learn what is happening out there, volunteer work is the fastest key for you to figure out who you are, find your vision, connect your vision, start your project, create a network, and so much more. Like volunteer work, I highly recommend that. That is the life-changing act you definitely can do for yourself and for the organization and the community you are turned down to be a part of. So that is amazing. Oh.
I remember, Tanya, you mentioning how you were a volunteer and that makes such a big difference in your life.
Yeah, volunteer is one of the biggest element that have turned my life around to choose to close self-harm, being addicted to violence. That has really saved me. I will not be who I am and where I am and be so connected with my vision if I have not volunteer. Volunteer is the key that really have definitely saved my life and make me a better person.
Awesome. That is amazing. And that is true. And I know so many stories of people that just show up as a volunteer just because they want to have a break on their lives, and then they find something that has a bigger purpose and makes them just so fulfilled. So that is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
You have a great life experience that you can share that makes a huge difference.
Definitely. And you are on my goal of life to come down to yoga. It's oh my God. When I come to Guatemala, that is the place I'm going.
You should.
I definitely do.
We'd love to have you.
I'm just if I'm traveling to USA, I'm going to Costa Rica. That is so close. All right, my friends, thank you so much for bottom of my heart for the work you're doing, how you're showing up, the friend you are in my life, and the mentor you are, because you really push me to next level and call me forward. Because sometimes, we're going to be human. Sometimes the days it's a little bit hot moments, and we get to the audience, we get to be around people that really showing up strong, that is committed as AF, that do the work, and Ella, her team, as her organization, is that for me. So I will invite you to go and follow them, support them in some way you can. Skip your coffee, skip your movie time in the weekend, and go and support them. And definitely, I recommend be volunteer. So Ella, thank you so much, bottom of my heart, for you to be here, and it was a blessing again, my friend.
Same here.
Thank you. So see you guys. Have the most amazing day, and talk to you soon, everyone. Bye.